All right, I think we've waited long enough. And a few things going on, trying to figure out. Sadly, not able to get the Twitch extension working, but now I know why. It's frustrating. Anyways, today we have Dungeons and Dragons. And the party is already assembled, so let's go see what they're up to. Good morning.
Hello, hello.
Good morning, good morning. Oh, I gotta turn that on. There we go. Now we can see my pretty face. All right.
Hello.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this morning's episode of The Tyranny of Dragons, where a bunch of random internet strangers turned friends play D&D together. We are so happy you can join us and hope that you've brought plenty of ale to keep your mug full until our tales end. Before we begin, let's get through some quick announcements and some disclaimers. So this is an active Twitch chat campaign, which basically means that you out there watching from home can help aid the party or otherwise impair characters by using your Twitch channel points, otherwise known as bar tabs. So throw out some advantages, disadvantages, health potions, and saving throws to a creature or character at the table. These bonuses remain only for the current session and so must be used before sessions end or else they are lost. Advantages and disadvantages can be granted only up to a total of 3 per character, able to be used whenever they like, except for the disadvantages are on the next roll. Health potions and saving throws are immediate use only. If you like to play D&D or even are simply interested, do join the Tavern League's Discord, which can be found in the Twitch links below. As well as, they can be found in the Twitch links below, where you can find any open campaigns and possibly other DMs looking for players, as well as Tavern League's encounters, the one-shot epic boss fight D&D MMO experience extraordinaire. More info in the Discord. A lot of work goes into this, to the stream, the campaigns, and the Discord, and we appreciate all of your support. Just tuning into chat, saying hello, responding on Twitter, all that good stuff, checking out the YouTubes. We are always looking to improve and incorporate more fun, more production value, and more things to play with within the community. You can show some more support if you wish by checking out the Patreon and the links, or also through Twitch subscriptions and throwing likes and follows to the Twitch and YouTube channels. All right. So first off, before I forget, let's get the historian. Thank you so much for Jarhead for that last one. And it comes up with Ireva.
On the birthday.
Is it your birthday, Ireva?
You're muted, babe.
It is. It's the dirty 30.
Oh my goodness. Happy birthday
to you.
You get a free advantage to use.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So we got historian on Ireva.
And we won't be home until Thanksgiving, so you'll get it after that.
Okay. All right.
I'm so excited for food.
Fat boy is too. That would be me.
Just to clarify. Okay. Let me make sure I got all my stuff up.
For some reason, it's not letting me add my level 3 spell to Freddy's actions.
Oh, I never leveled up because I'm unconscious, so.
Yeah, I don't know
spell
what's
dot on
been
it?
going on with my extension, but you can't like drag and drop into the spells anymore. It's annoying.
Yeah,
What
it's been-
spell are you trying to?
Leomund's Tiny Hut. It doesn't even need an effect or anything. It just is a thing that happens.
Okay. Level 3 evocation. Is that Bard?
Bardic. Yeah, it's a Bard level 3 spell.
Okay.
And
Leomans.
I don't know if you saw that
Tiny
whisper I
hut.
sent you, but
Oh yeah, I did see that.
And if you're not too busy, I'll also need an Armor of Agassiz level 3 at some point too.
Okay.
Yeah, I say I don't want to be a turd right at the beginning, but none of my level up stuff went in. So I don't know how to update it.
We can take care of that.
Okay.
A little bit of admin work never hurt anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's not a
Oh,
lot. I don't
same.
really get spells. It's my abilities that changed.
Okay.
Same. I'll let you fix everyone else's though first.
Yeah, we can tackle it as we go. There. All right. Freddy should have Leomund's tiny hut for Bard.
Alrighty.
We're level 7 now, right? Or did we turn level
Yeah.
8?
Yes.
Okay. Man,
Nope.
I don't even remember.
we can go to 8 if you want.
Yeah, I'll take 8.
Yeah, I
I'm
was.
looking forward to level 8.
I got the D&D Beyond extension for my Twitch, so it's supposed to be able to display your character information because I put you guys on D&D Beyond. For all those out there watching, but turns out that I have two D&D Beyond accounts, and one of them was already connected to Twitch. So, and of course, they don't let you just delete your account. You actually have to make a support ticket.
Oh,
So,
But of course.
yep,
naturally.
going through a little bit of that.
How dare they try to empower
Frustrating.
the customer?
Yeah. Why would you ever let the customer do what they want to do?
I worked in retail too long for me to ever say that sarcastically.
Okay. So Bard.
Also, I don't
at
know if it
level
matters, but
5, 3 cantrips, and then 8
Leo-
spells. Okay.
Leomund's is a level 3. I don't know if it matters, but
Yep, I put it on level 3.
Okay.
6, 7, 8. Yes, you are good. All right, and then VMOC is a barbarian level 7.
Yeah. No big deals. He just gets feral instinct,
Okay.
and some HP, of course.
some HP,
But
but
of
he's
course.
unconscious right now, so I don't know.
You can level up when you're unconscious. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we spare the dying you, so.
See, I didn't see it add anything to it.
All right. Advantage on initiative, and if you are surprised at the beginning of combat and aren't incapacitated, you can act normally on your first turn, but only if you enter your rage on that turn. Okay.
Right.
I don't think
Surprise.
I don't think we need extra for that.
Surprised my ass.
All right, and then Erava, what did you have going on?
So I get a favored terrain improvement. I got to choose another terrain. So I believe the one I already had was grasslands. So I was going to add forest. So I'll have 2 favored terrains, grassland and forest.
Okay.
And then I get another favored enemy. So the second favored enemy, because I already have fiends, I will be choosing dragons.
Ooh.
So I will know draconic and get advantage on wisdom checks for tracking dragons.
Okay.
Advantage on
Yay.
wisdom
I would
checks.
say that's probably
Ow.
a smart decision.
Yep, advantage on wisdom checks to track them, and then intelligence to recall information on them. So she might actually know a thing or two. Chalk it up to a blessing from coming back from
Do
the
you
dead.
know? Do you know the Muffin Man?
All right. And then HP max should be 60.
Yeah, and that's all she gets. So just a couple of ability adds.
Oh. Give me 1 second. Mila, what's going on?
Oh, that sounded so sad.
Yeah, I don't
Bad,
think,
whatever it is.
I don't think that level up was right. I don't think it added my hit point.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. You gotta get that HP.
I'm gonna have to do some math. Ugh.
Ugh.
Okay.
What happened?
I don't think
damn sure
he's
didn't.
mic'd up yet.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Scratch yourself? All right.
Is she okay?
Yeah, something's been weird lately. Something hurts, but we can't tell. Took her to the vet, and they don't know.
Poor
Yeah.
baby.
So she's a French bulldog. I guess like they have problems with their back legs and their necks. And I'm wondering if something like that happened. So like you can't really tell because it's like muscular or skeletal. But also she likes to scratch the crap out of her face, so I'm wondering if she did that. So now I got her by me. Okay, so Ranger, I don't think, no, you don't get more spells.
All I get is another favorite enemy because
Yeah.
I'm only level 6. So another favorite
Yeah.
enemy and another natural explorer, and that's it.
Okay, so then we just got
Do need to add the language known of Draconic though.
okay. So that we can go to abilities, languages, Draconic. we go.
Draconic sisters over here.
And then what do we got for Rosemary?
Oh, so I'm taking off command and doing cure wounds instead,
Okay.
which I feel like is a good idea. And then my level 4 spells, because I get level 4, is Blight, Death Ward, and Stone Shape. Blight and Death Ward is automatic.
Okay.
And I don't know about health or whatever, but I just know my spell things that I had to take care of.
Mila, just chill. Can't get comfortable now. Okay. Cure wounds.
She's like, what, Dad?
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks because like you can tell like something's weird because she's just like not acting normally. But she hasn't like cried like that. So I don't know what the heck's going on.
Yeah. My heart hurt for that. I was like, oh
yeah,
no.
that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
I mean, I feel like I can say this because it didn't happen. If you hadn't gotten up and checked on her, I would have judged you a little bit. I've been like, Nomad, go get your baby.
Yep.
Okay, not
I'll
really,
go
because
over
everyone knows
D&D.
their own pets better, but still.
Okay, so I got cure wounds on you.
At least check up.
And then you got Blight, Death Ward, and Stone Shape.
Yes.
Ooh, Blight. That's a nasty spell.
I know, right?
Level 4.
I was happy that it came with the Grave Cleric automatically. I was like, ooh. Nasty.
Necromancy. 1 action. 30 feet, verbal and somatic. Instantaneous. God, she can't get comfy now. No. Hmm?
Well, she gets more attention from you if she doesn't lay down.
There. Yep. I joked around with Brianna.
She's like, take that.
Yeah, I joked around with Brianna that because I took her out for a walk and everything was absolutely fine, but then I get a text while I'm at work from her dad saying something's up and not to take her on walks for a while. And I was like, okay. And then I get home and you know, I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And I joked around with her that, oh, she's probably just faking because she didn't like the walk and she doesn't want to go on walks anymore. A health potion for the puppy from Squeege. There we go.
Oh.
Okay, and then Blight.
So would that go to Vima if it's for the puppy?
Nope.
Oh.
I'm just
Oh.
Just kidding.
Squeege.
Death Ward. This is the fun side of D&D.
Yes.
So much.
I mean, it's
Level 4.
exciting for us because we get new stuff. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
like I ain't mad about it.
New spells. New spells.
Is Death Ward a granted? For your domain?
Yes.
Okay.
The only one that isn't granted is Stone Shape.
Okay.
So Stone Shape is my one that I can have. It's my preferred.
Cleric Life, Domain, and Paladin.
She's snoring.
That's her breathing.
Oh, she's
That's just
breathing.
normal breathing. Oh yeah, it's wonderful when you're trying to sleep. It's wonderful.
It's cute for me to cute not having to deal with it.
Okay. And stone shape.
We're sorry, it's just so cute.
I get it. I get it. Okay.
I have a Boston Terrier mix, and when she like chokes on her own spit half the time. So she gets so excited. She chokes on her own spit, and she's like, like
Her
just
defense,
sitting
I've
and
literally
like
met
teething.
humans that
It's
do
so
that.
But hers is funny. Because she literally chokes on her own spit because she's so excited.
Station. I assume you have your stuff sorted out, John?
He yawned.
I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, Mila's curious too. Her breathing sounds like
Yeah.
He should.
She just keeps going,
Not deafened. I wonder if he got a work call.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, stone shape is good.
And then I don't know what my health should be at.
It should have
Other than that,
automatically updated.
Okay.
Yep. Should have. The only thing, I don't know why it's not doing Blight, Death Ward, or Stone Shape as level 3 spells. Don't know what's going on there, but I think we're all right.
Mila.
Oh.
Okay, must make a Constitution saving throw. 30 feet. Target takes 8d8.
On a failed save.
Oh yeah. Necrotic.
But if they succeed, it's only half. But still 4d8.
Mm-hmm. Half as much on a success. If you target a plant, creature, or a magical plant, it makes a saving throw with disadvantage, and the spell automatically deals maximum damage to it. Okay.
And then if it's like a non-magical plant, then there's just, it doesn't. It just takes the damage. Which I don't know a scenario when I would use that right now, so
8
I feel like
hours.
VMOC could just easily tear down a tree.
Not really that strong.
And this
Just get a great axe and be a lumberjack.
I am a lumberjack. Watch me work.
Okay. I think that's good.
Sweet.
Okay. Are you sure Armor of Agathis goes up? Or is it because I think it's based on your Warlock level? Since you took another level in Bard.
I can use Warlock and Bard spells pretty much interchangeably as long as I spend the correct spell slot for it.
But you took a level in Bard, so your Warlock spellcasting isn't affected. So I think your Armor of Agathis still remains a level 2 because you don't have level 3 Warlock spell levels. So
I can use Warlock spells with my Bard spell slots, and I can use Bardic spells with my Warlock spell slots.
Yeah,
They're
I know.
interchangeable.
I know, but still, at level 2, the max level spell slot that your Pact Magic does is a first level spell slot. So when you do Armor of Agathis, you can just click and then right click to add to upcast stuff to level 3. Are you saying you want Armor of Agathis at level 3 because you're going to be casting it at level 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can't, like, the temporary hit points to myself.
It doesn't upcast? Okay.
It does not, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
I tried that earlier, and that's why we had to make it at level 2 as well.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm hoping Uthar has his stuff figured out.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Oh, I see you changed the level 2 to level 3. Okay, yeah, that works.
All right. So with that all done, let's go ahead and dive into tonight's episode of the Tyranny of Dragons. Last time we were joined at this table, our party had made their way within the hunting lodge, seeking vengeance, though the way they had gotten in was a little bit unpredicted. Freddy gaining entry without so much as a slash of a sword. His words made with honey to gain themselves entrance beyond the hazards and the traps. But the cultist which had allowed them within had been kind of pushed off, being a little bit too talkative. Freddy wanted a little bit of time to speak with his allies about what to do now that they were inside, and so the man walked upstairs. And only a few moments after could be heard with a female voice shouting above, "You idiot!" And small feet began stamping towards the staircases, followed by a number of others. The party was ready for a fight, but Uthar was the first to be spotted. A woman halfling of meager size, though no less imposing, wearing armor of pure white, brandishing a wand, pushed it to the side as she hailed the Furbolg, saying, "Wait a minute, let's talk. I think there's something that we could have a conversation about." And so she allowed Uthar to find the rest of his party and come back for a parley. And so Freddy and company, Vimak, Ireva, Rosemary, and Noct met into the entrance hall, met on the far side by Talus and a few of her guardsmen. And she, my goodness. Mila.
Sounds like me.
Yeah,
The whole time.
It's gonna break the immersion.
I keep looking over to see if Sauerkraut is sleeping.
Yeah. So, so the parlay, it was revealed that Talus had something happened to her recently that she wasn't a huge fan of. She had made mention of the dragonkin that had just recently passed through, surmising that it was largely her that was the reason the party was here. And she knew that there was nothing really at this lodge that the party was there for. And so, oh my goodness, Mila, stop. And so the party was given a few choices and just a little tidbit of information. Talus promising aid in stopping the what's it called? The shipment of treasure that was to be brought to the Hoard. Talus would help them do this if they would help her in turn. And so the party went off to a side room to discuss the matter. And Freddy seemed to think this was a good idea, killing two birds with one stone using some insider information, as he didn't believe that she was gaining all that much except for pride and an ego boost. And so they went back into the chamber, thinking to join in a pact with this creature. But Vimak had other plans. With surprise, before anyone could act, before anyone seemed to be ready for a fight, he brandished his weapon to smack the nearest guard, beginning a round of combat. And so with the two sides joining in arms against each other, a fierce battle was fought. Some cones of cold and blizzard, ice and sleet cast about the chamber by Talus showed a bit of her power, and also some healing regenerative abilities, for the party had lain low her guardsmen, but they were brought back up from the brink of death just to be brought down. But one of the party also was laying low. For Vimak lays unconscious right now, but he is stable. The four-armed troll Trepson even making an appearance to smack a few of the members to and fro, and thus brings us to the present moment. Vimak is unconscious. Right? Talus is also unconscious, but she is not stable. We have a few of you others with a number of wounds, but largely your foes are on the ground, dead and dying. A few scurrying sounds coming from the northeast across the hallway can be heard, but other than that, the hunting lodge is pretty silent.
Ureva stands with her feet firm to the ground, her bow held with an arrow still notched, just ready for any of her opponents to move.
Would you like to go check on Vimak?
Rosemary is also going to follow with that.
That space is actually taken up.
What's the closest to Vimak that isn't taking?
I will make it visible. There we go. Now you should be able to see. So those hazards, that's the freezing armor.
Oh, there we go.
Well, now you just stepped on Ureva. She elbows you out of the way.
Well, I couldn't see.
I'm kidding.
I couldn't see.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I will step on Trepson then.
It's all gushy and squishy.
An odor rises from the
Smells
corpse.
like rot, yeah.
They both do.
Vimak kind of stinks, yeah.
Because I can squeeze past Noct right here, right?
Yeah.
To go around to VMOC? Okay.
Yep.
And let's see what spells I have. I'll do Cure Wounds on him. Oh, I don't have the heal thing for Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds.
Freddy also turned off heat metal, so he doesn't kill Talus.
I can make her stable. I'll do that.
Beamot continues to snore. You hear him in the background.
Because my Spare the Dying is 30 feet as a bonus action, so I'll just Spare the Dying Talus.
Okay. Talus.
And then I Cure Wounds. VMOC, but I don't have the button for it.
What?
All right, we'll get that.
Well, it's Wounds, not Wounds.
Woods. Cure
Woods.
Woods.
Yeah, Wounds.
You're curing with a cold. Cure Woods.
I mean,
She's
there
from
is
Boston.
the high ice hazard in
She's
the way.
from Boston. She's curing
Fuck
wounds.
the car. Fuck the car.
Next, she's gonna try and find her pair of khakis.
1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier, which is wisdom.
She's a grave cleric, so there's a negative to it, right?
Hey, I'm trying to heal you, sir.
Hey, that's the matter for you.
All right, there we go. I have your
I'm
Cure
walking
wounds.
here.
Why isn't this working?
Ireva maintains the arrow, notched in the bow, but she is watching them care for VMOC with some clear concern on her face. Not overly concerned, but she's not soft just because she died.
He blinks.
There's a little
Why,
bit of
hello
movement to her
there.
face.
Are you okay?
Troll.
The troll is dead. I'm standing
He's
on
not
the
dead.
The
He will
troll.
not die. Burn it.
We already burned it.
Vimok could clearly see like two big burning gashes that Freddy had made through him after the troll had fell last session.
Yeah, the skin's kind of bubbled back a little bit. The troll
Burn
flesh.
it. Burn it again.
VMOC, do not be mad, but you missed the fun. The troll has fallen. Freddy flamed him.
I killed 4.
And she lets out like an actual laugh. Like you rarely hear it, but she just lets out and goes right back to serious.
How many did the bear kill?
She looks at Noct. How many did you get, Noct?
I think Noct got Kusfia. I don't remember.
The troll only counts as one.
3 or 4.
He just, because he's really tired. He's really freaking tired. I think he might be on 3 now.
Rest easy, VMOC. You won tonight's challenge, but there is always the next battle.
I heard.
Should we check Talus's body?
Check them all. They were well protected. She wielded a wand of some sort.
Yes, I think it best. Freddy, you should take that wand from her. Take a look at it first. You may know of what it is.
Try to walk over to her. Now that
Mark
Vimok
just
is
stays
okay.
laying there. He's kicking the troll too. He's like kicking it every now and then to make sure it doesn't get up.
Hey, watch the troll. I'm standing on it. You're gonna make me fall.
He sheaths his sword and shield. I was gonna close this door next to him.
Okay.
She's stable because I spared the die in her.
Yep.
Kicks the wand away from her, and then is actually going to start by taking off that special armor of hers.
Okay.
Making sure to do it in the most appropriate fashion possible.
Reva cocks her head slightly to the side and watches, making sure that Freddy's hands don't get a little too excited.
All right, Freddy, as you are taking off this armor, the many bands and different fasteners keeping it on, you do see parts of her flesh, red and welted, extremely inflamed from the burning of your heat metal.
Yeah.
Inflamed.
She fought well from taking all that fire damage, though, Freddy. You must be impressed by that.
I am. I did not expect her to stay vertical for so long.
Okay.
So once that's done, Fred would like to pocket the wand and inspect the armor. And it takes a while.
Does she have anything valuable, Freddy?
I think doffing armor is like a 5-minute process. So
Yeah, it takes a while. So, all right. So you do you do find the wand, and you also see this that it is scale mail.
While he's doing because it takes 5 minutes to do the armor, right?
Yeah.
something like that.
All right, then I'll do prayer of healing because that's 10 minutes.
Okay.
On everyone.
All right,
I'll
and
mark
since
that
she
off.
has not seen any of the enemies move for quite some time, Ireva is going to sidle past Noct and just kind of start poking casually at Kusvia, see if there's anything on him that she thinks any of her party might like.
6 creatures, okay.
What type of scale mail is this?
It's fashioned in a way that, you know, somehow makes you think about dragons. And it's got purple around it. So like it definitely seems ceremonial, but not just ceremonial. It has a function as well.
Fred would like to cast his detect magic on himself and see if the armor lights up.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm waiting to see that cast.
I hit it. Did it not?
Hit it again.
There you go. Okay.
Hey,
Freddie,
okay.
as you cast detect
Hey, one
magic
more
on
time.
yourself, you see your own rapier kind of glow in that faint stardust type thing, and you also see the wand as well as the scale mail.
All right, for now, Fred will just put it in his backpack. We'll sort all this shit
We
out
don't
later.
have them.
You do
that's
not
right.
have a backpack.
Good call. All right, well, he's lugging it under his arm then for now.
Okay.
There we go. I
And
healed
then-
everyone.
And then checks the rest of her out. Does she have any other weapons or wands or other items of interest?
She does not. But
All right.
Ireva going around to Kusvia and some of you also checking out some of the other bodyguards, you do find a symbol fashioned in silver, as well as 40 gold pieces.
Ireva finds a symbol, or we just randomly find it?
You all randomly find it.
What's the symbol?
Can
I'm
I
gonna
do a check to see
try
if I
to roll.
recognize? Can I do a check to see if I recognize the symbol or know anything about it?
Go ahead and make me a religion check.
Oh, that's what I was going to do too. Religion. Where's religion? Ooh, I'm good with religion. Apparently not today.
All right, Ireva, you surmise that this is a cult symbol. It has some sort of significance to the cult of the dragon.
All right, Ireva is going to spit to the side, not at anyone, just spit to the side. Yet another symbol for praising those dragons. It may come in handy. We may want to hang on to it.
Who shall hang on?
It matters not. I'll hang on to it for the time being.
I just hope we can get something out of Talus here. That caravan is something I think we should stop.
She's stable. She should be stable. But I don't want to waste any healing on our enemies. As I only have limited resources.
Vimok lights a torch and begins pressing it into Trepson's body.
This is the kitchen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Uravel will kind of peer this way since she's on the other side of Cuspia. Kind of peer this way, see if she sees anything of importance.
Make me a perception check. You don't notice anything other than the normal kitchen accoutrements. It appears that a meal is half made right now. The cultists that had joined in to reinforce Trepson, that are now perished, were hard at work at something.
So Irave's going to walk in towards the half-made food, see if anything is actually fully cooked at all, like edible. If there's any edible food, she's going to grab it and bring it to Vimok.
All right. Nothing is like fully finished or prepared, but there are cooked bits that you could definitely eat.
Okay. She'll just grab a few of them just for something like semi-fresh. She'll just grab a handful and make her way back to Vimok.
Okay.
What kind of weapons are these two fallen warriors carrying that are laying near Vimok?
Okay, so Wessick has a long sword, a short sword, and a heavy crossbow.
I didn't want no range shit.
Sorvik has the same long sword, short sword, and a heavy crossbow. And then Mailgot has a long sword, short sword, and a heavy crossbow.
We'll pick up one of the long swords.
Okay.
If I can add that to his inventory.
Yes, I can get that to you.
He takes the food from Ureva and nods appreciatively as he's trying to light this fucking troll on fire.
Seeing what he's doing, she kind of smiles a bit, pulls an arrow from her quiver, and just shoots and sinks it, like, just shoots right into the fleshiest part of him. He is down, Vimok.
He grins a little bit. It should burn to ensure that it never returns. Yum, yum, yum. This food tastes like shit, but the body needs to be nourished. Yum, yum, yum. It will burn, damn it.
What would you like it to taste like, Vimok?
Vimok does not care. And before you ask, yes, I know what shit tastes like.
I believe everyone likes. I believe everyone likes a nice blueberry pie, Freddy.
Pie is good.
Yep.
Yes.
Freddy waves his hand, and you suddenly start smelling blueberry pie wafting through the room.
Ooh.
Vimok looks down, looks back at Freddy. The grin widens a little bit, but he continues eating, like not nonchalantly, but like a little bit more aggressively.
And now
Maybe
it tastes
even-
like fresh made, homemade blueberry pie.
Maybe even bites a finger accidentally.
Seeing him meet with Gusto, Ireva gives a short nod and, joins the investigation into Talus and keeping an eye on her.
I'm gonna check this veteran.
Bodies were already checked, so you're not going to find anything different.
Oh, never mind. And then
At this point, Fred would also like to try to bind Talus's hands.
All right. What do you have to bind her hands with?
Should have rope. Yep, I have rope.
All right. Please make me a sleight of hand check. All right, Freddy, you take some time to bind your hands behind her using some knots that you know about. And she is restrained.
Double check to make sure she's not sure breathing.
She is breathing very, very shallowly.
Should break her fingers.
What is so loud?
Uh-oh.
All right, what else you guys doing?
Took up a lot of Freddy's time, waiting to see if anybody else wants to do anything.
I think Nicole's doing something with the mic.
Yeah, she unplugged her headset, and her laptop's microphone is very sensitive. So we're trying not.
Oh.
I'm waiting for her to get back.
Emok looks at Knot, says, "You fought well, as a bear."
Would we be able to rest after we talk to Talus?
Well, if we bind her well enough, we can rest while we wait for her to come back.
I think that's a good idea.
Just
Perhaps
like Jamna.
Yeah.
should someone investigate this building before we destroy it?
I figure we're going to rest first before we investigate, especially if we need to meet more enemies.
We made a lot of noise. Perhaps we should check while we have time.
Yeah, I do not think we should dawdle.
You all stay down here to rest. I do not make a noise with my movements. I will go investigate further up. I only need 4 hours rest if we are taking a rest. And Ureva will nod at them and she will
dead too.
She will head back up. And she saw this. Did she see the stairway in the kitchen?
Yeah, you'd be able to see that.
Okay, so she will kind of think for a moment. There's a stairway in the kitchen. Should I look up at that one or this main one first?
Emok laughs at Knot.
I I believe
Recommend the kitchen.
Hawkeye.
Single point of entry.
Ureva will nod and she will continue her way to the kitchen, knowing that you all are at the bottom of the stairs should something come down.
Would you care to go with her?
I believe Hawkeye had a staff of spike growth. I believe I could use a charge to keep the stairway good for now.
The basement, or the stairs lead down to a basement.
In the kitchen?
Yep.
Okay, so she is going to she has the elven boots on, correct? Like, I just want to make sure I actually got those
Yep.
back. And okay. So knowing she has those on, she's going to sneak down the stairs. She does have her bow with an arrow at the ready. And she's going to, like, around any corner, anything like that, she's going to cautiously peer.
Okay, give me
Mark.
1 second.
Mark wants to drag this body to this spot.
Which body?
Wessick.
Okay. Here you are.
And prop it against the door to, like, block it.
Should we block the stairs with traps in?
And Trespin in front of that door. Make sure, make it hard to get in. He's going to sit down right there. And attempt to take a short rest.
I'm just gonna hang out with VMOC and keep an eye on him.
Tell me about the ocean.
There we go.
He tells you the same story he told you last time you were unconscious, but this time
He doesn't care.
No, this is when you were unconscious in a ditch. So this time you can actually hear the story.
Oh, really?
I
See if
will
he-
watch over.
Let's see if he gets sick.
You
Constitution
guys.
save. He does not hurl.
That's halfway to being ready for boats.
Freddy, I will watch over you guys. I do not have to move. I just need, and I can keep my eyes open. I just need to remain still for our rest.
Are not resting
And I believe mine is 4 hours too.
All right, Reva, you can go down the steps if you want to.
Ooh, a teleportation
Yes, I do
device
have that.
appears in front of her. All right. Reva does a sneaky sneaks.
All right, so
Error.
the cellar is damp and smells like apples and vinegar.
That's better than smelling like
It is dark.
ass.
At least it doesn't smell like aspals.
Yep.
All right, so she continues on down the stairs and she'll peek around. I'm going to move there, see if I can see anything more.
Me.
So I'm not gonna lie, hearing Mila snore is making me sleepy because I'm so used to Jake snoring. Hello, Pavlov.
Something's up with my map. All messed up. Let me fix it. There we go. right, so as you walk down the steps, you actually notice some figures down there who are looking to you with their eyes kind of somewhat shut, peering into the darkness. There are bags of apples and sacks of potatoes lining one wall. 3 prisoners are chained along the walls. There is a dwarf with a chopped and singed beard, and 2 humans, a man and a woman. The woman is wounded. Their chains are secured to iron rings, keeping them just out of reach of the food. I suppose that would actually be over here.
Is the unidentified creature, is that one of the prisoners?
Yes.
Okay. Ireva would see these prisoners, unable to get their food, and she's going to keep her wits about her and keep wary, but she is going to approach swiftly, and she is going to start handing them food.
All right. The young woman reaches out her hands, ever thankful. One second. The woman reaches out her hands, ever thankful, grasping for the food and putting it to her mouth. The human man also does so. Excuse me. But the dwarf, kind of with a sideways glance, speaks up. Heard a lot of noises up the stairs.
Yes. A group of them decided to try and make a deal with us, and since we don't trust those who are in a leadership position with this cult that we are following, well, we didn't trust not taking them out.
Tallis trying to make another deal. Spits on the ground and then reaches out a hand to grab at the food. Not very politely.
She's honestly unfazed in his condition. So I'd like to imagine, and she notices their condition. In his condition, he has no need for manners, in her opinion. Do they look like emaciated or in poor condition?
Not emaciated, but definitely in poor condition. The young woman is badly beaten. She has bruises and cuts along her neck and shoulder. The dwarf is badly beaten as well. You see many bruises on him, cuts, some even healed up, some forming into scars, even some of the bruises turning yellow with age, so he's definitely been down here for a while. The human priest is untouched.
Okay. Ireva looks the dwarf in the eye and she says, the forearm troll has been taken care of.
He looks up and his eyes kind of like in surprise. You killed Trepson.
Well, I am not on my own. I have many trustworthy companions that I am with. Now, how do I get you out of here? Who are you? Why do they have you imprisoned? And she begins to, while she's asking, she keeps the contact with them and like the slice of empathy that she has, but she begins to look for keys.
All right. They are shackled with iron chains. Let's see.
She's attempting to ask them questions while searching too.
We'll say that you did find a key on Tallis upstairs, just because I'm not 100% sure where the key is, honestly.
Would Ireva have taken it, or are we saying Ireva took it?
We'll say that Ireva took it.
Okay. If anything, she can throw it in her magic quiver, right?
Yeah.
So she has the key and she reaches up to, first she without hesitation, frees the woman.
Okay.
And while she's doing this, she is asked, she goes, "Who are you? Why have they imprisoned you?"
My name's Mircella. I'm from Baldur's Gate. I came to Parnas with a caravan and stumbled upon the cult's doings here and was captured. Been here ever since. Oh, thank you so much for saving me. She was going to kill me.
Ureva says,
and then her
"No."
eyes, a little frightful, actually turn to the dwarf. Get rid of that one. She was prying him for information. I think he's in the cult. Ah, you bloody bitch! And then he actually reaches over to try and punch the woman himself.
As he reaches, Ireva will attempt to, with quickness, she will pull an arrow and point it at him. Like, literally, like, if it reaches him, she will stick it into his hand. Before he is able to punch, he stops short and then, kind of like nonchalantly takes a step back. What you want, elf woman? I'm not concerned with you yet. You have had your food and you can wait. And she'll look at the woman. Why hasn't he been harmed? And motion towards the priest. I don't know. He might be in the cult too. And the man says, I am not in the cult. I do not know why, as we have gone over this many, many times. I think she's using me to get something out of you, of course. Can I do an insight check on the woman's sincerity as well as the priest? Sure, make me 2 separate insight checks. First one can be for the woman, Mircella. Huh? Oi, oi. Second one can be for the man. Yeah, she's really bad with people, so these rolls just make frickin' sense. All right. The dice know. Yeah, they're hiding something. Something's off here. The dwarfs and the cult, they're here too. They're right next to each other. They have to be linked somehow. Okay. Ireva looks at Mircella. I'm going to ask you to come with me now. You can take as much food as you would like, but you are not to make any other sudden movements. I do not wish to harm you, but these are perilous times. And you're just going to leave the rest of us here? I will be back. I am not on my own, as I have said before. Oh, please don't leave me down here with him. And the dwarf is just standing with his arms crossed in front of his chest as best he can with the iron chains. Staring daggers at you. Did the dwarf say that or the priest? The priest said that. I will leave you wherever I would like to for now. I will be back. You two try not to kill each other. And she will, put more food in their reach. And then she will actually put her hand on Mircella's shoulder. Not aggressively, but firmly. And she will begin walking her up the stairs. The man speaks up. Please, my name is Brother Cayman. I'm a priest of Amaunator. Don't know why I'm here, but I think it's for insidious reasons. Chalice using me to get information out of him or some such other, maybe even sacrifice me. I'm not meant to be here. Please just release me. You can trust me. Your begging will have no weight on me. You know me not. Then you're just like the rest of them. Leaving me here to die. Ireva stops for a moment and looks at him. You know me not. You make assumptions based on your own attempts at guilt. These will not work on me. You've made your own assumptions yourself. You don't trust me. It's the only reason why you're leaving me here in chains. I will leave you here to starve if you continue talking this nonsense. I will be back within 10 minutes time. And he just turns. With that, she just turns back and she just walks away with Mircella. All right. And he just kind of slumps on the ground. He's trying to empathize with the wrong living being. He hasn't noticed. That's really true. Yeah. He don't know. All right, so she guides Mircella back up the stairs. She does keep Mircella in front of her. Okay. She's not pushing. She's not shoving. She is guiding with a firm but friendly hand.
All right.
And she will actually walk her all the way back up into the main room with everyone else. And if they are sleeping, like at least Freddy's sleeping, she's gonna wake him up. Like she's.
Nobody should be sleeping.
Well, Rosemary just has to stay still for her long rest, and it's only 4 hours too. So I think she could still talk to you as long as she just remains still.
If it's anything like Ureva's,
I
you
don't know if
get
that's
rest when you're
true, though.
functioning. Because like Ureva's
But this I just have to stay still. But I retain consciousness.
Let's see what the DM says.
Yeah, that's why.
All right. I don't know why I can't move this.
I say I can move Ureva, I just didn't want to. Obviously, you know I can move Ureva.
There we go.
Yeah, because all I have on my notes is spend 4 hours in an inactive, motionless state, but I retain consciousness. But I don't know if speaking is inactive.
Map just went weird.
There we go.
Can you just reset? Yeah.
All right, so she's back here. I'll just. I think it's right past here. And she is just going to. She's gonna enter the room. Freddy, come here. I need your peopleness.
I'm gonna get rid of some of these dead bodies because we really don't need them anymore.
What
Out of
seems to be the matter?
Out of some strange, like, muscle memory, BMOC stands when she enters the room.
Ureva nods to
Rosemary's still going to try to do her trance thing. She just sits, eyes open.
She responds to Freddy. She looks at him and then nods at Miracella. There are prisoners below the kitchen. You know I'm very talented at reading people and being able to empathize with them.
Ha!
I need
She makes a joke.
I need the softness of the kindness of your words to help me understand why she may have been here. I'm not accusing of anything, but I don't know if her story is quite as straightforward. And she's unabashedly just saying this right in front of Miracella. There are 2 more down there. There's a priest who seems to be unharmed that claims he has nothing to do with the cult or anything. I personally find suspicious, as these 2 have had welts put upon them. And there is a dwarf. She claims this dwarf has doings with the cult. They are still tied up, though they do have their access to food. I think this is best left in your hands, Freddy.
So does she look roughed up? Which one of the prisoners were not?
Oh
roughed
yeah,
up?
no,
The
she's. I think he
priestess?
said she's the most injured.
Yeah, she's definitely badly hurt.
Gotcha.
She may need some healing as well.
Well, that's the first thing. Fred would try to look her over and see if she needs, like, medical attention.
All right, Freddy, please make me a medicine check. I'll push that to you.
Ureva waits for Freddy to chide her for not addressing her wounds first.
Oh shit! There we go.
Ooh.
All right, Freddy. She's been badly wounded. some cuts and some bruises, but it's all pretty superficial. There's nothing that will be lasting. I mean, she might
R2.
like she might have not swollen features, because like, well, not swollen features, but like for the rest of her life she might have some marks, but nothing lasting, nothing life-threatening.
That's what he's mostly concerned with. All right. Then Freddy says,
Like a missing tooth or something.
yeah. What was your name? Marcella, right?
Yes, Mircella.
Hi, I'm Freddy. How old are you?
I'm 19.
And where are you from?
I'm from Baldur's Gate. I came to Parnast on a caravan. We somehow came upon the cult's doings, and many were slain, though I was taken.
It's quite the long caravan. What was a girl like you doing on it?
V-Monk's looking at him like, what the fuck?
we were on our way to Parnast. I'm doing some business.
Can I make an insight check, please?
Go ahead and make an insight. You have no reason to disbelieve her. It's not completely unheard of for families of merchants. You suspect likely that maybe she's a daughter of a merchant, and she just happened to be on the caravan. It would kind of make sense for something like this to happen, as the area around Parnast maybe isn't the most dangerous or fraught with danger on the caravan trails.
Okay. Parnast. Did your family ever go further east than Parnast?
Well, my father did, but I myself haven't. This is one of the first times that I've been brought along. You see, I'm old enough now to come with.
What was your father's name?
Gregor?
Given Freddy's background?
I think they killed him.
With Freddy's background, would he recognize the name of a Gregor merchant that ran between Parnast and Dagger Falls?
You don't recognize a Gregor. Not the Gregor merchant name, but it is a little bit off to you to hear about a merchant all the way from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, that's quite the
so
long run.
that would definitely be something that piques your interest, like what type of trade would be coming all the way from Baldur's Gate.
My dear, yes, I'm quite sorry for your loss, but I'm afraid I have a few more questions. What was your father running from Dagger Falls all the way to Parnast?
I think he had purchased some silks and some fanciful items from the south, from the deserts. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
I'd like to make another insight on the items that he was bringing.
Okay. Again, no real reason to give that she's giving you to disbelieve her. It's more like she just wasn't really aware, because she's not really interested in like the trading and everything. She's the daughter of a merchant. She's more interested in some of the fanciful lounging, good living. So it doesn't really surprise you. She doesn't know much about the wares. But very likely it is that it comes from some of the more southern stuff, so like silks and maybe some fancy pottery, something like that. Probably more high-end trading.
Gotcha. My dear, did your father plan on leaving you in Parnast? Was he going to continue across the Great Waste?
I believe yes.
Do you know of any other relatives that you have in Parnast, or friends that he was going to leave you with?
1 second. Where is this? Okay. So she responds, no, I was gonna make the trek with my father. We were on our way to Parnast, because it was on the way. And then she kind of like searches her mind. We were going to the east, somewhere across the desert. Daggers, something.
Dagger Falls, perhaps?
Dagger Falls. Yes, I think that was it.
Well, that's quite the coincidence. That's my hometown.
Oh, huh.
It's quite the dangerous trek to go across the desert and bring your family with. Doesn't seem like something a merchant would do.
It's my fault, really. I've been begging him to take me along for the longest time.
I have a question.
Okay, fair enough.
What's up, Rosemary?
Yeah, so my rest is only a 4-hour non-moving state, but I can remain conscious. Can I still talk?
No.
If I'm trying to do my
No, it's like
rest?
meditating.
Okay.
And this is all like probably only 20 or 30 minutes after the battle was ended. So you need like 4 hours.
Alright, I'll get up anyways.
Okay.
And come over
All right, I'm gonna do
to
one more.
insight that stuff.
I'm gonna do one more insight on her begging to go along with her father. Make sure she seems genuine.
Well,
And Nomad, can I do another insight? Like I'm listening and paying like full attention on this conversation. Can I do another one on her?
For sure.
Excuse you, Rosemary. Gee.
Oh my gosh, Ireva is just doesn't
I'm-
like people especially today.
I mean, she rolled better than me, and I have a +7.
Wow. Well, you were half asleep, sort of, kind of.
All right. The three of
Yeah,
you.
I got it. My trance.
The three of you think that something doesn't add up. It is kind of weird that a merchant would bring family so far.
Ireva, feeling like she's not being entirely truthful, her hand grips a little bit harder on her bow and she stares at Freddy.
Murder hobo. Murder hobo.
And she gives him this dangerous look that she hopes he knows he understands.
Rosemary will walk up closer.
I feel like you're leaving out some information.
What do you mean? I've told you everything. What do you
We
want to
are
know?
not-
Ask me more.
We are not a group that you would wish to be dishonest with.
Oh, she kind of like curls in herself. She's just like on the verge of crying right now.
And
I'll
Ereva
stand
will.
behind Ereva.
She's not actually going to hurt her, but Ereva will start pulling arrows from her quiver, and she'll kind of point it out, and she'll say, "My quiver never runs out of arrows. I hope that you might run out
Please
of
don't
your
kill me.
dishonesty."
Please don't kill me. She reaches out to you, Ereva, to grab onto you. Please don't kill me, please.
Quit with the lies.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. You must believe me. Please.
I'll
Just
believe
take me
you when you
away
begin
from
to
here.
tell it. I will believe you when you begin to tell us the entire truth.
That is the truth. He told me about the road and I didn't listen.
Change your dice color, Ereva.
Yeah, no cripes. It's alright, the Packers lost to the Vikings, so I would green work.
I'll see you.
Is it really?
Rosemary's gonna hold out her hand. I mean,
Yep.
the blackish, kind of like blackish forms from her hand. I mean, it's Toll of the Dead, but she's not gonna use it yet.
And Freddie examine her clothing quickly to look for clues. Like if she was riding in a merchant caravan, then surely her shoes should be in very unworn condition. Stuff like that.
I'll give him guidance.
It's too late.
Go ahead. I can add it on.
Gosh, Freddie, just wait.
He's a generous god.
What is that, a D4?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there you go. You got it. So
Oh,
adding
you already
to
did it.
that.
Nobody waits for my guidance.
All right, Freddie. Looking closer at her clothing, you see that she's wearing a garment that's pretty fine. Not like nobility rich, but definitely something that a well enough off merchant could afford. It doesn't appear to have very many signs of wear and tear from the road. Quite possibly, maybe she was not on a caravan, or maybe because she's the wife of a merchant, you know, she was on a wagon and away from more of the elements.
Right, given like a padded seat
yeah.
and whatnot. Yeah.
The bottom soles of her shoes do not appear to have wear. Like she's not walking or anything. Her body, however, does show at least some signs of weather, even if it's just being outside getting more sun than maybe she normally would. That's kind of the only sign that you can see, maybe, that she's been out and about.
Are her hands calloused?
No.
My dear, for being trapped in the dungeon for so long, you seem to have quite the healthy tan.
Oh, time out in the caravan. There wasn't a whole lot to do. I spent a lot of time on the back. I suppose I got some sun, maybe. It was more than I usually would, being cooped up indoors all day.
Oh,
Me
yes.
too, I need
Your
some
life
too.
seems to have been so terrible, Ereva says pointedly dryly.
If you're gonna make insight checks, roll them in the tower, please.
Okay.
Well, I do get the feeling you are trying to keep something from us. I do not think you're a part of the cult.
She's being honest.
about you, VMOC? What do you think?
About what?
This young woman here.
I have not been listening to your conversation.
Excellent.
Hey, VMOC.
Hey,
There's
what?
a dwarf down in the dungeon that may need questions being asked to him, as well as a priest. Have you any interest?
I just wish to find out answers to whatever it is we are looking for and burn this place down.
My biggest question is why shouldn't we kill you? What do you give us in value?
Is she lying to us or to you?
Are you going to kill me? Please no, please no.
No,
I've been here so
hold,
long.
hold,
Please no.
hold.
Yeah,
Oh,
with that-
please no. No, don't kill me.
Rosemary, we do not kill simply because we do not trust. That is not our way.
Is she lying to you?
I never said we are going to kill. I
You
just
asked
said
her why
what
we
value
shouldn't.
Does she take?
We are not
Well, I
going
mean,
to kill you. However, we need to make sure that if we do let you leave here in one piece, you are not going to burden our path.
Oh, please, I'll do
That's what I'm
anything.
trying
I'll do
to
anything.
do.
I'll be out of the way. I'll be out of the way. I'll do anything. I'll do anything you ask. Please, just get me out of here.
Reva takes a last look at Freddy and says, Freddy,
she-
this is your choice. Do what you will. And she
Yeah.
will, motion to VMOC. VMOC,
Yes.
let's go in the basement. I need another opinion on these.
What about the girl? Is she a cultist?
I do not believe so.
Why is she here? Why are you here, girl?
I don't know. Like,
Don't lie to me or I will rip your head from your shoulders.
oh, please don't kill me. Please don't
Well, then
kill
tell
me.
me the truth. Why are you
I
here?
already told you.
You did not tell me.
Oh, you weren't listening.
No, I was not. I was talking to my captain about something totally different. Why are you here? Just tell me the truth now.
I was taken.
Oh,
from
quit
my
blubbering
camera.
and just answer. And he unsheathes the sword. Tell me.
She's like blubbering now. Like she's
Stop blubbering and just
but
tell
it's-
me. Why are you here? Why
it's
did the cultists
incoherent.
capture you?
Oh, but I was in a cabin and they found us and they took me and they killed my father.
And why did they keep
I
you? Were you a
don't
boy?
know. I don't know. They've
If
been
you meant
beating me.
nothing to them, they would have simply fed you to the trolls.
I don't
Right.
know. They've been beating me. Oh.
They were beating you. What did they want from you? Do you know something that they need?
I don't know. They weren't asking me questions. They were just beating me.
That sounds bullshit to me. May I roll
Yeah,
an
I'm
insight check?
Trying to insight that.
Well, I'm going to ask before I do it. May I roll one, please?
There
I
you
mean,
go.
So most people do.
Listen here. She is honest again. I don't see there is a reason for her to lie.
She seems truthful to me. I think we should just let her go.
She is like just a mess right now, blubbering and crying and just like.
Why else would she be
holding herself.
shitting on herself and wetting the floor like that?
You know how to get home, woman.
I have no idea. I don't know where I am.
It is not our concern. This is just some poor little wench that was captured by this cult. Just let her go and let's be gone with ourselves. This is taking
Freddie.
too long.
She looks up
Freddie, you
fearful.
seem-
Oh no! You must take me with you. I'll die out in the wilderness.
No, you would be nothing but dead weight
Oh
to
no!
us.
No! Please let me follow. I won't be in the
You
way. I
not
won't be in the way.
you would be dead weight.
You
Dead.
will not be coming with us. I cannot stand the sound of blubbering crying.
Oh, then just kill me now.
I was about to say
Very
the
well,
same.
and he stands up and starts coming down the stairs towards her.
Can I?
Freddie,
Well,
Oh, that was a bit much. She actually like screams at you coming at her.
what?
Should I kill her, Ureva?
I do not believe so, VMOC.
Then
Hold
she
up,
should be gone.
Hold up.
As-
Hold up. Rosemary's trying to say something.
I was gonna say, Ureva, should we just deal with the others? I can't stand the sound of this whining, crying anymore.
Ureva will nod to Rosemary and she'll say, Freddie, what think you? We can't take her with us. We cannot.
I don't
Noct,
think she'd
how
have
far
any
away are we
value.
from Parnast?
Good question that I would need a map for. Scale. Where's the scale? We're like 6 dot. I'm gonna guess, based on this map, that's probably 2-3 days. Nomad, that sound about right?
I was typing that too.
Okay. Like 2, maybe 3 days.
Oh,
I mean, depending on
it's
how
not that
fast
far.
you
Please
are.
don't kill me. Oh, 2 days. 2 days only. Just bring me to Parnas.
You're blubbering. We are not babysitters. There is half-made food in the kitchen. Cook as much of it as you would like, and then be on your way.
All
We
right.
are done with
This is going. I've got things. I'm sort of done here, but with big man dead, I will take her to Parnas. This is ridiculousness. Yeah, I'm not gonna just throw her out in the woods. I know where I'm going, and I've got to check back in about this. So I will escort you. If you would just sit on the stairs and please be quiet for a bit.
Yes. She tries to move past all you guys. Do you allow her to?
BMOC
Yeah.
gets out of the way.
Okay.
So
Or-
Ireva isn't aggressive towards her. She's just not on with the blubbering. And she'll look at
Right.
Noct, and she'll say, Noct, you are a good man. We cannot go out of our way. We must complete this. Thank you for taking care of her.
A man or a bear? Or a
I'm an
man
orc.
bear?
I'm an orc. Not. I
Orc.
mean,
Man.
man assumes a certain race.
She will look. She'll look at Freddie, and Noct, Rosemary, whoever. There are 2 more down in the basement. There is a priest who is unharmed and a dwarf that she claims is part of the cult and has quite a few injuries on him. We should see to them next. And she, you can tell she's just already exhausted from the emotion that this woman is putting out.
I'll be honest, I'm more interested in what's upstairs. If this was Rezmir's hideaway, then perhaps there's some valuable information we can find.
We can look up there, but you know I cannot walk away from living beings being held prisoner, and I can't simply let them run free as they may deter our goals.
What about the halfling? BMOC walks over and grabs her, brings her back. Pulls her over his shoulder.
Yeah, she is still unconscious. Once she regains conscious, we'll try and find out information on the caravan from her.
She's coming with us. He just throws her like a sack of potatoes over his shoulder.
Freddie,
Agreed, Vimok.
if you truly wish to go upstairs first, give me your word that we will go in the basement to them. I gave them my word that we would return for them.
I'm saying we kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I think you are more than capable of handling the prisoners downstairs. I'll try and search upstairs.
I do not
With
wish
Rosemary.
to go back there. You
Do you
send
want
me
to
back
just
down
go
there.
kill them?
No, I don't think they need to be killed, but I
wasn't
could not.
going to. I was going to let them loose.
I could not discern whether they were telling the truth or not.
Fine. We'll
Why
trade
don't I
places.
come
Why
with
don't
you?
you go upstairs, I'll go downstairs.
Ireva nods happily. I appreciate it, Freddie. I don't wish to. I'd like to free those who need to be freed, but there's just something about the both of them that I do not quite trust.
Either way, this is taking too much time. We must find what we need and leave here quickly.
And Ireva will nod.
Before
and
you
she'll
go,
head up.
Before you go, Ureva, she grabs your shoulder.
I'm sorry about earlier. I shouldn't have let you got hurt.
That is okay. I understand that you were trying to keep our defenses up. I just do my best work at killing when I'm not being interrupted.
I
Pay it no
should have
mind.
stayed where I was.
It's going to put Talus back down where she was.
I should have stayed where I was and let you not get hurt. And
I
then
did
I'll
not
go with
lie
Freddy.
this time. Pay it no mind.
I just wanted to formally apologize. When I say do not get hurt, I mean it. I will do my best to let you not get hurt again.
You need not be my shield.
I never said shield, I just said don't get in harm's way. But yeah, shield.
Meat shield. Da-da-da. Alright, and then he
Well, I
raiders
mean, my AC
right up the
is
stairs.
20.
She heads up the stairs and she will Nomad, do you want me to roll stealth? Because she is going to like sneak up the stairs. I know the boots make her quiet, but
Do you have advantage to stealth?
yes,
figure boots give
any
advantage.
stealth
Okay.
checks I get advantage. All right, red dice already working better than green.
There you go.
She wants to kill.
They will kill.
Okay.
This blade will kill.
Yes, that's
Great
what I
job.
was trying to get at. I'm just following Freddy.
Yeah, and Ireva didn't wait for anyone to follow her. She just went. She was like thrown off by the blubbering. She couldn't handle it.
Yeah, Evok was just trying to get her to quit in some way.
Whether
work
by
with my
force or by convincing her.
Yeah, you know, we're used to work with my kids, you know. You quit that blubbering or I'll beat your ass. Okay.
Or you just leave the room and not care at all.
That was
I
my
think
old man. If
Freddy-
you're gonna cry, I'm gonna give you something to cry
I'll
about.
give you a reason.
Right, you know. My dad would just, you know.
All right,
actually
Freddy,
my
you
mother, I was
also
scared of.
see two figures on the right wall. Over here.
I'm coming down with him.
Okay.
I just didn't realize he was already down the stairs. But she's following after him.
You guys really got to get better at pathing. Keep getting hung up on walls and
Hung up
everything.
on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it. I didn't realize I was getting hung up on that thing.
All right.
And then she'll stand next to Freddy.
Let's do Ureva's adventure first. Freddy's already done quite a bit of talking.
All right. What are you doing, Ireva?
All right, so Ireva is going to pop up the top, and then, so the stairs that she sees on the other side, they go back down, correct? Like that other circle?
Yeah, but you don't, like, you can just say no on it. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
So she is going to walk into this room. She is going to take a look around. She sees a couple open doorways, and then are those windows to the south?
You just went back downstairs.
Oh, not on my map.
This goes up. And this goes up.
Oh,
That goes down.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the map changed, so I just kind of made an assumption. Okay, so she's up here.
Okay.
Just kidding. So along the side and to this, like along the side she's on, these are doors, correct?
Yes, those are doors.
Okay, so she is going to approach this door and she is going to put her ear up against it, see if she hears anything. If
All
not,
right.
then she's going. Sorry, go ahead.
Make me a perception check. You hear nothing.
All right. She is going to pull an arrow from her quiver, notch it in her bow, slowly open the door with the arrow leading the way.
All right. You see that this room is dark and cold. Furnishings include a bed covered with blankets and furs, a small desk with an unlit oil lamp atop it, a washstand, a chamber pot, and a brazier of coals. The window is shuttered.
All right. She is going to take a quick look through the desk, see if she finds anything.
Just some random stuff, nothing really pertinent. Like maybe like a writing pad or something.
Okay. Then she will back out and head down south and do the same thing with the next door.
Okay. You hear nothing.
All right. She will slowly open the door. Oh, if I can actually click on. There we go. Slowly open the door, arrow pointing the way. Here inside.
Same thing. A dark and cold room, unlit with the same furnishings.
All right. She'll once again just kind of rifle through the desk real quick.
Nothing.
And exit the room. To the direct south, is that another? That's a door, not a window, right?
That is a door.
All right. So, again, puts your ear to the door. She ain't being reckless. She's going to do that on everyone. Sorry, guys.
It's fine. You hear nothing.
All right. Slowly opens the door.
Okay, slowly opening the door to this chamber, you see an enormous bed covered in a soft burgundy bedspread. There's a fire crackling in a fireplace, lending the room warmth and an atmosphere of comfort. There is also a locked chest in this room.
All right. And I don't see anything living.
You do not.
All right. So I don't have detect magic. Let's see. Am I able to? Oh no, I don't have a lockpicker's kit. I was saying, am I able to try picking it? No, she can't. All right, so she is going to look, like if there's a desk or anything like that, she's going to look through it. Anything that may seem of import, she is going to quickly look through. The chest is too big to pick up, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. On the desk, you do find some papers disheveled, a few notes, things about the hunting lodge, such as, things given to the trolls, certain happenings that have gone on. It's relatively boring. This hunting lodge seems to be like a stopping point, like a supply depot almost, for treasure and items that have been brought from Castle Neritar. You also find one very important note about a floating castle. Seems to be the destination of much of this treasure. It makes note of Parnast as well.
Is Eureba able to fit these notes in, like, her pocket?
Sure. You could grab a couple and stuff them in there.
Okay, so the ones about the floating castle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think just honestly right now the ones about the floating castle, because they already know that this, like, she can remember that it's a stopping point for the goods. She will grab the ones from the floating castle and she'll just kind of put them in her pocket.
Okay.
And then she will investigate the chest just to see, like, if it is locked, but she's not actually going to touch it.
Okay. it does appear to be locked.
All right, so she will keep note of this and she will exit the room. And it looks like these two on the south are windows, so she will sneak past the windows and approach the southwest door, again putting her ear against it first.
It was slightly ajar.
Okay, so then she will simply ease it open further with the arrow notched in the bow leading the way.
Okay. What looks to be a well-appointed chamber is filled with furniture and seems to serve as a place to eat food or discuss important matters.
Okay, she'll step in.
There's a larger central chamber. This appears to be an important room. The chairs are kind of moved in a way that people had moved out of this room in a rush. You think likely that Talus and her guards were in here when the cultists came to inform her of your presence.
All right, seeing the door on the far west side, she will quickly investigate this room, see if there's anything, like if there's bookshelves, a desk, anything like that, that she should take a further look at.
There isn't much more here in the way of anything important.
All right, then she is going to walk over to this closed door, place her ear upon it once again.
You hear nothing except for maybe a little bit of wind blowing every now and again.
All right, she's going to open it with a notched arrow leading the way.
You open to the roof. This is a little entry point where you can actually get onto the roof.
Okay, so she's gonna like step halfway out. She's gonna keep her foot against the door, but kind of step halfway out and just look back and forth, see if there's anything out here.
All right, as you step out, you feel the slickness of the ice and accumulated bits of snow, but you do not slide down further.
All right, then she'll quickly step back in, go back through the door, and she will check out the far west door, putting her ear against it before...
It is open.
Oh, it's open.
Yep.
All right, so she will step in, arrow leading the way, investigate the room.
The shutters are open, allowing light to shine in. 4 unmade beds line the south wall, and other furnishings include a table with 4 chairs and a wine rack containing a multitude of bottles, most of them uncorked and empty.
Are there any corked bottles
Yes.
that still have wine in them? She's gonna grab, if there's 2, she's gonna grab, no, she doesn't have a pack to carry them in. So she would have to carry them in her hands, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she's just going to take note of that for VMOC for later. And then seeing nothing else, she's going to step back out and investigate the north. Go to the next door, ear against it once again.
You hear nothing.
All right, then she will open it slowly, arrow leading the way once again.
All right, this appears to be a bath chamber. Small chamber has a large bathtub in it, and the lower bath doubles as a laundry. As you see a number of linens, bedding, and so forth.
Okay. She takes note to mention a bath to VMOC and heads further north, putting her ear against the next door.
Okay, which one, left or right?
Left to begin.
Okay. You hear nothing.
All right, hearing nothing, she will open the door slowly, leading with the arrow.
A gaping hole in the roof exposes this armory to the elements. Very few weapons are stored here at present. Shelves to the north lie mostly bare, and a poorly maintained weapon rack standing against the south wall holds 3 rusty spears and a frayed net. Nearby is a closed cabinet.
She will approach the cabinet and investigate the cabinet. AKA open it, I mean.
All right. You find a number of items. 10 arrows, 20 crossbow bolts, 2 heavy crossbows, a decorated spear, another normal looking spear, 2 longbows, a frayed net, and a rusty spear.
She will grab the decorated spear, and she'll kind of laugh to herself at the irony of now finding arrows, no longer needing to. And she will close it again. So she's holding the decorated spear. And she will head back out the hall. Before she... Oh, and actually, I'm so sorry. She wants to grab one of the nets too. Is that okay? I know I kind of...
Okay.
Yeah, one of the frayed nets. She grabs a decorated spear and a frayed net. When she pops back out to the hall, she is going to set them down beside the door, like in the hallway on the floor. Take her bow and arrow back out and place an ear upon this further closed door.
All right.
She can't wield spears, I don't think. Ain't gonna try that.
I think they're simple weapons. Probably can.
You hear the low thrum of a fireplace. Other than that, nothing else.
All right, once again, she will slowly open the door and lead with the point of her arrow.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to... There we go. And she will take a step in.
A roaring fireplace churns out heat and light at one end of this spacious 30-foot high chamber, the ceiling of which is buttressed by 10 wooden pillars carved as dragons. 5 large tapestries hang along the walls, 2 on the west wall flanking a door, 2 on the east wall hanging side by side, and a particularly grand one dominating the south wall next to the fireplace.
Do these tapestries strike her as anything other than just the cult and them thinking they're great?
4 of the 5 tapestries each show dragons hunting, killing, and feasting on lesser creatures, with blue dragons attacking a desert caravan, elves succumbing to a green dragon's gaseous breath weapon, a red dragon burning down what might be the castle ward of Waterdeep, and a black and white dragon circling over a cold swamp dotted with ruins. Each is worth a number of gold, likely to the right buyer, you suppose, but each also weighs about 75 pounds and would be extremely cumbersome. The 5th tapestry shows Tiamat, the queen of evil dragons, in all her glory, crowned in gold and silver, worked with gemstones and gold and silver thread. Fully 35 feet wide and 20 feet tall, it shows her, the queen of dragons, crushing cities and surrounded by adoring followers. Weighs about 200 pounds by your estimate, and a number of gold pieces even more than the others. Simply
All right.
removing the semi-precious stones would provide them to you, each worth their own.
So Ireva sees the tapestry of the, I think, green dragon killing the elves, and she will attempt to rip it down and throw it in the fireplace. I'm assuming you want a
Alright.
strength check.
How much would that?
First, make a Constitution save because it's poison.
No, don't give him ideas. Hi, Mila. Your snorting has gotten a lot quieter.
Yeah, she seems to be doing better.
Calm down a lot.
All right, please make me a strength check.
I never would have guessed. Oh, come on. Really? Did I have to roll bad on that
You
one?
attempt to pull down on the tapestry, but you are unsuccessful. It's still fastened to the wall. Too difficult for you to pull down.
She glares at it and makes a mental check to ask VMOC to throw it in the fire. Then she looks at the Tiamat one and takes note of the wealth of gems in it. And also makes a mental check like, all right, VMOC's gonna have to pull these down. We're taking those gems out, if anything. But these are gonna frickin' burn. And then she will step, seeing a door. Oh, okay. She's not good at that.
Red dice are failing you.
Dude, not as bad as the green, though. Let's be frickin' real.
All right. So you go to the door outside.
Yep, put your ear against it, for use. She is a cautious elf.
You hear nothing but the natural elements themselves outside.
All right, so she will open the door with keeping her feet like on the ground. She knows she will open the door cautiously. Again, arrow notched in the bow.
Okay. You see a balcony outside with a little dusting of snow.
All right, she quickly closes the door and retreats. She returns to the hallway and she looks around to see any further path she might take. I believe there's a stairway to the north, correct?
Yep.
Yes. So before she climbs that stairway, she is going to grab the net and the spear. She is going to walk to the top of the stairs. She's going to just haphazardly throw the net down, but then she's going to slide the spear dull and like handle end down the stairs. So that they just kind of land at the top, hopefully.
Okay.
If they successfully land there and she has nothing else to worry about, she's going to head back north. And this might be a good time to switch to the other party because Raven had a lot of showtime.
Okay. You never explored this northeastern.
Northeast. Oh, I didn't think that was a room. Oh, okay. So she'll run over there. I didn't realize that was a room.
Yep.
Okay, so she is going to explore this room real quickly. Put ear to the door. Thank you, Nomad.
Yep. You hear nothing.
All right, opens it with the point of her arrow.
You see a chamber with 3 open windows letting in light and air. The room's walls are adorned with stuffed animal heads, including a large 14-point stag, a mountain goat, a bear, 2 winter wolves, and what can only be an Ankeg's head. 2 tattered banners hang out from the ceiling, and 2 leather chairs and a handful of braziers complete the comfortable parlor. This is very much a hunter's bragging room.
All right. Does she see anything like of value that would be of ease to carry? All right. Bing.
You actually find a segment of the wall over here that looks like it can be pulled and moved, revealing a secret door.
All right. So she hesitates for but a moment, but then does it.
Leads into the what do you call that? The feast hall.
The tapestry room.
Yep. Feast hall
Okay.
or something.
So she looks in, familiar with what she's gazing at, looks back around her, and all the rest of these openings are windows, correct?
Correct.
All right. So she will simply head back to the middle of. Oh, I need to do this, right? She will head out of the room,
I keep coughing.
back to the middle of the stairs, and just kind of report down. She doesn't go down the stairs. She's just kind of going across them.
Okay.
But in the middle, she's going to kind of report down. Freddy, there's a room. Wait.
You would know him in the basement.
She knows he's in the basement. So she'll just stop in the middle, push, like make sure no one's in the way, push the spear down, like all the way down, and throw the net all the way down, and then she will continue on the way and head up to that northwest corner where the other stairs are.
I'm assuming you go down.
Yeah, if they go down,
Okay.
I go down. I just kind of stopped because I figured if you wanted to switch to the
Gotcha.
other group, you can, for sure.
All right. You make your way down the stairs.
Arrow
here.
at the ready,
Yep.
as always.
So I have you on the ground floor.
Okay, perfect. That's not the floor that goes into the kitchen, is it? No. Maybe. It's okay, we can switch. I'll hold my questions.
All right, Freddy. You have made your way down to the basement, and you see, same as Ireva had spoken to you, an elder, later middle-aged, not super old, but a human man as well as a dwarf. The man looks untouched, whereas the dwarf is badly beaten. He has his arms crossed in front of his chest, as best he can with the iron manacles on him.
The dwarf is unidentified to me still. I'm assuming it's this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hello, gents.
What's your name?
Spits on the ground. My name is Brother Cayman. Please tell me you're here to release me.
I hope so.
I think we want some information before we release.
Information. I have no information. I don't know why I'm here. If you want information, you're gonna need to talk to that one. And then the humanoid points to the dwarf.
The lady up above told us you were part of the cult. Is that true?
The dwarf speaks up. What's the matter? You ain't gonna let me out anyway.
She looks back at Freddy.
Brother Cayman, where did you get captured?
Okay. All right. So he responds, I was on a pilgrimage to a shrine out on the coast. I arrived here from hills far to the east, traveling west. I just happened to come upon the wrong place at the wrong time, and they captured me, brought me here. I've been here ever since. Don't know why I'm here. I think they
How
just
long
like
ago was
keeping
this?
I think they just like keeping prisoners. Who can really know? I've been down in this basement. Maybe a fortnight.
Fortnight, that's quite a decent amount of time for you to not receive, well, any beatings like the rest of them. Why'd you get such special treatment?
I have no idea, and believe me, it's been the topic of quite debate with the other two. Then he gives a scathing glance to Kragnor. I suspect it might be some crack tactic to try and pry information out of that one, or else, honestly, they might be keeping me for some more nefarious plans. Some sort of sacrifice to a ritual, I suppose.
Suppose it does make some sense to create a certain amount of jealousy or mistrust amongst the three of you. Stops you from banding together to try to escape together.
My
not sure
talents
why
do
you
not
didn't
lie
think of
in
that.
the escaping arts.
What's your name, dwarf?
You gonna let me out? Or are you just gonna keep asking questions? I have no purpose to answer
Well-
anything from you.
If you answer the questions, an arranged escape could be
Oh,
possible.
believe me, I've heard that one before. You think this is the first time I've dealt with interrogation techniques? You're gonna leave me here to rot, no matter what I say or don't say.
I wouldn't. If you do not wish to harm us, I would be fine with letting you go.
Then let me go. I'll
Do
be
you
right
wish to
on me
harm
merry
us?
way.
That doesn't answer my question.
If we do let you go, where do you both plan on going? What do you plan on doing?
The dwarf speaks up first. Oh, I'll go start up a shop, you know. This life of danger and cult worship just ain't for me. I'll become a merchant, you know, selling flowers. And then the
I'm gonna insight that.
This
Alright.
sarcasm is obvious. Thank you, dwarf. And you, Brother Cayman?
Cayman, don't mind that one. He has a dour attitude. Well, to be honest, I'd probably hook up with you at least until the nearest town.
I think hooking up with us
What
will be an
sort of
option,
skills do you
unfortunately.
have?
Surely, understood. At least maybe you could point me to the nearest settlement.
That I believe we can do.
Look here, dwarf. I know you're lying. It's quite obvious. Why don't you tell us the truth? Why are you part of the cult?
They paid well.
They didn't pay enough.
Was that in
I
character
don't see why
or?
you were locked up if you were.
Yeah, that was Freddie asking. They didn't pay enough. That's why you're down here and not a part of the cult anymore.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
No, it's that bitch Talus. Jealousy runs deep in her.
Oh, you got a little too big
Why
for
is
your
that?
britches, and she put you in your place.
I don't think his britches are very big. I mean, he is small. Ego, on the other hand, makes sense.
Rosemary, could you let the man answer, please?
He's not speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, he's not gonna speak.
Brother Cayman, of which deity do you worship?
I worship a monitor.
So I'd like to investigate him real quick. Does he have any idols on him? Or necklaces or amulets or religious artifacts of any kind?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Alright.
This time I actually got guidance on.
All right. He is not carrying anything on his person, though his garments do speak of some type of priestly order, at least. Pretty, how would you say? Minimalistic, you know? Nothing special, just something to get the job done.
Does Freddy know about this deity? Has he heard of it before?
Make me a religion check.
Can I try?
Yeah.
I should be good-ish at religion.
Ooh. All right. Rosemary, oddly enough, you do not know of a Monitor. Freddy, you do know that it is a good god.
Alright, and lastly, can I roll insight to see if he's telling the truth about worshipping that deity? See if I believe him.
I'm gonna roll insight too.
Or I should say it's a lawful neutral.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch. What were you looking for, Freddy?
Oh, insight on him actually worshipping that deity. He's not, trying to fill me full of more guff.
Oh, that's what my insight was for, and then I put guidance on him.
Oh, let me drop that. There we go.
All right, Freddy, you are pretty damn certain that he is telling the truth.
All right. Fred steps up, and are we just going to say Ureva gave him the key in that exchange above?
Yep, we can say that.
All right. He unlocks Brother Cayman.
Oh, thank you so much. And then he wrings his hands a little bit, and then looks over at the dwarf and says, I wouldn't be too off-put if they did let you rot in here, you lousy git. And kind of just walks over to make sure that Freddy and Rosemary are between him and the dwarf.
There's a half-orc upstairs that has the woman with him. I believe they're on their way to Parnast. You might be able to catch them if you hurry.
Excellent. Is there anything I can do for you? Anything at all?
Do you know anything about a caravan or any other
packs?
weaknesses of the cult?
Sadly, I do not know of any caravan. Though I do know Talus was asking some specific questions about another being, and then the dwarf actually speaks up and says, "You shut your fucking mouth."
What being?
Brother Cayman. Oh, well, you're way over there and I'm way over here. So why don't you shut your mouth and maybe, just maybe, they might let you out of the kindness of their hearts, though I very much doubt it. I can't remember exactly, Varric, Varum, another dwarf. Talus had a lot of questions about him, seemed to harbor quite a bit of jealousy. Some wearer of a color or other. So my memory seems to not be that great. It seems like she was jealous of his ranking. He got some rank above her, some other. And this git over there seems to have been friends with the man. If you're gonna do any more questioning, please allow me to leave before you do so. I'm not very good with that. But then,
Do you know where I can find any healer packs before you leave?
Healer packs? No, I don't.
And Nomad, the dwarf,
That's
you
just
said his
my
name was
question.
Varys or Varric?
Yes, something of the other. Right. And then he
Tell
actually
us.
makes a symbol in front of him that, oddly enough, kind of looks like a sun, and then whispers a short blessing to a monitor and to keep you safe, and then goes off. Thank you so much again.
Safe travels.
We wish you luck.
All right.
Now you, on the other hand, if you would cooperate, that would be able to happen.
Brother Cayman ascends the stairs to the kitchen, which Ireva, you actually probably hear someone ascending the staircase down to your south.
Thunk an arrow right in his heart.
And this is where we will end the session.
30 minutes early.
30 minutes
Oh, it's
early.
12:39,
It's
brother.
12, yeah, it's 12:30. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining and tuning in. We do actually have an announcement that I learned of in the middle of the session, but a big, huge congratulations to John because he has gotten a big promotion.
Hey.
Yeah, so
Hey, congrats to
a
him.
round of applause for him. Unfortunately, that does mean that his hours are changing, so I fear this is probably the last time that we will be able to play with him in this campaign.
Yeah, for at least 3 months. My mornings are going to be pretty booked, so I'm certainly not going to ask you guys to stop playing for 3 months. So I'm going to have to step away from the table for the foreseeable future. If things change, I'll let Nomad know, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, that's
My captain.
that sucks,
Hey,
man.
I
but-
gave you your tearful goodbye.
Yeah, man. it was
Luckily
sweet.
this week, luckily this week is for Thanksgiving holiday week. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have even been able to play today, and that would have been completely offhand. So
Yeah, so
Good luck to you, man.
yep. Congratulations on the promotion. That's definitely huge, and we are very glad for you. And who's to say what happens in the future? You will always have a spot at my table. Loved having you. Really appreciate you. We played for over a year together, so
yeah, no,
It's been great.
It was good times, but yeah, I mean, if later day stuff changes, you know what I mean? Like I'll be around still. It's just before noon is definitely not going to
Yeah.
be working anymore. So
all right.
Total
and
bummer,
then,
but congrats on the promotion, dude.
Yes,
You deserve
yes.
it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe later afternoons will be in my future too. I don't know. A lot of stuff. But yes,
Yeah.
so this was session 7 of part 7 of Hoard of the Dragon Queen. We have a few things happening in this session, leading to more questions, and we will be joining again next Monday, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting to get that journal entry, at which point I will send out the invite If Monday does not work for anybody, let me know. I will also probably be looking for another player. I have quite a few, I think, that would be available that could hop right in that I think all of you would enjoy. So I'll be sending that out. But yes, so thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for joining. Thank you
doing
so
interviews
much.
again?
I don't think I'll have to do interviews unless the people that I have in mind, because they're already in the server and I've been playing with them. They seem to be available during this time.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So yes, thank you so much, John. A big farewell. Hopefully not the last time we see each other, but I'm very happy for you. Yeah, that was Hoard of the Dragon Queen.
Yeah, man. Take care. Be good, man.
Yep.
Yeah, take care of yourself, John.
Yeah.
And I will end the Twitch stream. All right. Yeah, that sucks, man. Sucks for the campaign, but really good for him. John getting a promotion, won't be able to play with us anymore. That means that there will be spots open. So I will be opening up the opportunity to people, my players existing in the server already. But yes, availability between 10 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Central Time on Mondays. We play every Monday, going through the Hoard of the Dragon Queen, which we're actually close to the climax. We only have one more act. They actually could have been there at the end of this session, but you know, things happened. All right. So thank you to all of you out there who have tuned in, partaken in this with me. I appreciate all of your support, all of the time that you take out of your day to tune in and see what's going on. I run this campaign, which is through the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. It is 2 adventure modules, Hoard of the Dragon Queen and The Rise of Tiamat. So this is 5th edition, ran every Monday, 10 a.m. Central Time. I run another campaign, which is through 4th edition, through the Scales of War Adventure Path. That is every other Sunday. We did not play last night, so that means that we will be playing this coming Sunday night at 9 p.m. They are level 7, I think. So both campaigns are actually level 7. Quite interesting. Make sure to tune into those. Check out the YouTubes. I am uploading the VODs unedited right now, so hopefully I can get those all up and posted up to date so that everybody can catch up to the current standings of both campaigns. Make sure to join the Discord and get in on Tavern League's Encounters, the very fun, epic boss fight one-shot MMO experience extraordinaire. If you have ever played an MMO in the dungeons and the raids, it's much like that. Very highly challenging, highly tactical and strategic. Make characters that fulfill roles, giving you extra stuff to do. A tank avoids all the damage, taunts creatures as damage does massive damage. Support is very fun, undergoing some patch changes. Big patch coming for support, changing some of their abilities. Very fun to play, resource based, can pretty much influence a whole number of things in the fight. But this was the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, running through Hoard of the Dragon Queen Part 7, Session 7. We are at an end now. And so, if everybody could take their glasses and tip those bad boys back, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Tavern League.